Chris Cotter, Jay Williams, Seth Greenberg in our college basketball studios, just setting you up for NC State Northern Iowa. That was Alaric Freeman. 24 points last night. NC State's big win over Arizona. As you can see, we're going to tip in about 8 minutes and 40 seconds. The steel drums.
You're excited about that.
The steel drums, you get mesmerized by that, right? You get taken in by it.
Makes you
especially when it's this cold up here.
Yeah, drink on the beach.
Yeah, Central Connecticut. But we got some basketball to talk about. A lot of these, exotic locations, not just Atlantis, but Maui as well. And earlier in the day, in Atlantis, Tennessee and Villanova. Down 12 at the half was Villanova. Before Jalen Brunson finally got them going, putting them up 2 there.
Jalen Brunson scored 18 points in the second half. Lead guards win championships, and that dictated the tempo for the Wildcats.
Bridges with the dunk. They go up by 9, but Tennessee wouldn't go away, Coach.
This is a Tennessee team that's built on toughness and character, and they make shots. But in the second half, it was the defensive intensity of Villanova. Pressure on the basketball, active and alert off the basketball, and Jalen Brunson making plays.
DiVincenzo with the dunk to really put it away, but Villanova couldn't put him away until the final minute of the game. So it was really a case of 2 halves, kind of like last night with Villanova against Western Kentucky. They really came out to play in the second half, built a big lead, but allowed Tennessee to come back into it. Real quick on NC State, big win over Arizona last night. That's what we have coming up. What do you think about this Wolfpack team?
Yeah, this is an NC State team that changed their style of play. They're going to extend their defense. They got great guard plays yesterday. Braxton Beverly and Alec Freeman, 44 points. They were dominant in that game against Arizona.
Northern Iowa, NC State coming up next after this.
You're watching ESPN's Feast Week, presented by Lowe's. NC State, Northern Iowa, as we welcome you back to the Bad Boy Mowers battle for Atlantis. 2 surprising teams, perhaps, certainly more so NC State than Northern Iowa. Northern Iowa brings a lot of experience into this one as the Bad Boy Mowers battle for Atlantis continues. Villanova has already advanced to the championship game, so will it be the Wolfpack or Northern Iowa that plays them in our championship game? Delighted to be alongside Robbie Hummel once again, Carl Ravitch, and happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you, my friend. And you think about what NC State did last night, pulling off sort of a shocker in front of a very biased crowd. DeAndre Ayton, of course, is from the Bahamas, and they beat Arizona primarily because of one guy.
Yeah, I mean, a day of upsets here at Atlantis, but it really was. It was all Al Freeman. And, last year at Baylor, he won this tournament as well, but he really got it done. He got it done in the paint. He made shots. He created for others. Just a really good, strong performance. And if NC State wants to win this tournament, he's going to have to keep this going.
That is a little odd. So he's on the Baylor Bears last year, and he comes here, transfers, he plays back in Atlantis again. Not a bad deal. I mean, if you could ever figure out, like, which team is going to go to Atlantis and just transfer there and play in a preseason tournament in Atlantis, sure, we would do that. Take a look at the starting lineups. They're brought to us by Atlantis, and Johnson, Hunt, Freeman, Dorn, and the other Freeman, Leonard Freeman, out of Oak Hill Academy, the senior forward. And you take a look at the UNI starting 5. One thing you notice about UNI, they're very experienced.
No, I mean, they bring back so many guys from last year's teams, and you see they start a couple of sophomores. As freshmen, they were able to gain experience, and it's paid dividends, really, for this Northern Iowa team.
They open up in a man-to-man. Markel Johnson swings it, first 3-point attempt. That one is off the iron, and Al Freeman comes up empty.
Really, Carl, this is going to be a contrast in styles. We know NC State presses. We know they're going to pressure the basketball and play up-tempo.
Great play. Oh, at the rim. Access denied right there at the rim by Freeman. I mean, that's hard to block a dunk attempt.
Yes, it is. And Northern Iowa thinks they have an easy layup, but Leonard Freeman says no.
Nope, absolutely not. And it wasn't really a dunk. He never threw it down. Didn't have a chance. This is a guy that you're familiar with. Bennett Cooks, number 25. He had a couple of brothers that played at UNI. Both 1,000-point scorers. As McLeod loses that on the way in.
Well, Ben Jacobson has had a Cook brother on every team of his at Northern Iowa. And both Bennett's older brothers, Adam and Jake, 1,000-point scorers. Adam, the Missouri Valley Player of the Year.
Yeah. Weird year last year. You don't expect it. They were under 500 UNI, 14-16 on the season, and Ben Jacobson's 12th now, 4 NCAA tournament appearances. That shot was contested. We're going to get a foul on Markel Johnson. There is Ben Jacobson, and frustrated by what they did last year against SMU. A 21-2 run in the first half gave them a 15-point lead, and that really was the difference in the game. Talk about a culture change. Yes. Kevin Keats at NC State after Mark Gottfried was let go. And people there who are familiar with the program said he has created a culture of competition basically in every single thing they do. Whether it's the installation of a ping pong table in the clubhouse or himself getting involved in a game of horse, everything is a competition.
And you could tell last night because they came out and they competed. They played hard and earned that victory against Arizona.
Cook battling, got away with travel. No, he didn't get away with a walk. Gary Maxwell, Mike Roberts, and Hartness, I should say, are the officials for today's game. Dorn, a junior guard with some experience here. We'll see Abu a little bit later. He's got experience. And the guy that came off the bench and scored 20 last night perhaps will get some action as well. That's Braxton Beverly. First bucket of the game there from Leonard Freeman underneath.
Well, he's just shown so much improvement, Carl. I mean, he's gotten so much better. You look at what he was last year, just averaging 3.2 points a game. Offensively, he is just so much improved.
Wow, good move. And he's able to avoid the block as Freeman came over to help as well.
And that's what NC State was able to take away from Arizona last night. It was tough for them to get to that rim. Not good defense out the gates for this NC State team.
Dorn. Oh, we'll go the other way. Apparently Leonard Freeman pushed off from the back. Leonard Freeman, you take a look at that body, 6'8", 265. He had off-season leg surgery, and he is slowly recovering and becoming an offensive force for them. Air ball, and it's a rare air ball from about 4 feet away from Isaiah Brown, the sophomore, 6'7", 180-pounder. Team struggling a little bit early to get a rhythm.
Kind of feeling each other out here, Carl.
Sam Hunt with the ball. Another tough shot. Back-to-back air balls from behind. Dorn with an effort to take it away from the cloud. Swing it into the corner for a three, and that one is buried. Good pass, and Tawan Pickford knocks it down.
And they're known for their half-court offense, but right there pushing the pace a little bit and finding the freshman in transition. He's gotten off to a great start to his freshman season.
Answer with the three from Al Freeman. Freeman had 24 points in that win over Arizona. The grad transfer again. He averaged about 8 points per game with the Bears, and again here last year. So all of a sudden he's gone from an 8-point guy to, well, 24 last night against Arizona, and clearly feels like he can score whenever he wants. That's a tough one there because that's going to be the second foul on Leonard Freeman at the 16:40 mark.
Yeah, and just talking with their coaching staff, I think it's Kevin Keats has been hard on Al Freeman. And I think, you know, it's tough for some of these guys when they're going from a program where they're the third or fourth option or they're coming off the bench. And Kevin Keats wants him to be the guy here at NC State. They need him to score the basketball. And it's been a tough preseason for him, but last night, it's all paid off. I mean, he was able to do so many good things for this team. He was living in the paint, and he was finishing over guys, you know, that are going to be NBA players. DeAndre Ayton did not affect him. He got to the rim. He scored over him for and ones even.
I wonder how important that is for a coach to demand that of you, because he sees something in you maybe you don't even see.
No doubt.
In yourself.
And I think, you know, you're coming from a program. You're not the main guy. Maybe your confidence is a little bit shook, but Kevin Keats, man, he's brought it out of him, and he's looking for his shot.
been super aggressive, and that's what you want to see from him.
Traveling there is Braxton Beverly, number 10, has entered the game, and so has Omer Yurtseven, the 7-foot, 245-pounder, the center, number 14.
You mentioned Braxton Beverly. He came in with no fear last night. I mean, he had a look about him when that game started that he was ready to play, and he brought it to Arizona. He made shots. He got in the paint. He was a big reason they won that game last night.
Off the bench for 20 points last night against the Wildcats. He found out about 20 minutes before the third game of the season that he was declared eligible to play basketball. He goes back and tell you the story. Goes to Ohio State. Thad Matta's there. Actually enrolls early, takes summer courses. They fire Thad Matta. He leaves, gets the transfer, but it took a long time for him to get declared eligible to play. And there are connections that go back to Hargrave Military Academy with this coaching staff for him, where he played. And subsequently, he decided he'd rather play for NC State and Coach Keats.
And I'm so happy for him that he's eligible, but my question is, why did it take so long?
Yeah.
Why does it have to be a public outcry to where we finally make him eligible? It's common sense.
Because that doesn't always apply. He long on that one, a little adrenaline, perhaps. And Northern Iowa up 7-5 early with the ball. You asked that sort of hypothetically, right? You know the answer to that question.
Yeah.
Fouled on a three-point shot, so we'll have 3 from the line when we come back for Taiwan Pickford at the battle for Atlantis.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Bad Boy Mowers, classic American muscle. Mow with an attitude. Atlantis Paradise Island. Bahamas at heart. And Gillette, the best a man can get.
On this Thanksgiving, back with Robbie Hummel, the former Purdue great. Carl Ravitch here. How did we get to this game? I'm in Arizona with DeAndre Ayton. Everybody figured they would be the team playing today in the winner's bracket, but no, thanks in part to Braxton Beverly off the bench. He lit him up for 20. Everything was going in, and they knocked off number 2 in the country, Arizona, 90-84. As for Northern Iowa, they played SMU. Shake Milton did not have a very good game for SMU, and having a good game off the bench, Spencer Haldeman, the redshirt sophomore, came off the bench and scored 15, hit 4 of 8 threes, and as a result, we got this matchup here with the winner to play Villanova in the championship game of the Bad Boy Mowers Battle for Atlantis tomorrow, noon Eastern time on ESPN2. So Taiwan Pickford will shoot the free throws.
Offensively, he's been a pleasant surprise this year. I mean, he came in, I think, as a defender, energy guy. They knew he'd be ready to play right away. But he's made threes. He's averaging close to 10 points and 10 rebounds a game. He leads them in rebounding. He plays shooting guard. How many teams in America could say that?
Not many. I'm not sure many want to say that.
I don't think so either. Very balanced squad this Northern Iowa team is.
Beverly stays in. Yurtseven's a good passer for a big man. And now all of a sudden we see Abu into the game, and he gets it to go. This is a guy also coming off injury, Abdul Malik Abu. He is the top returning scorer for this team and rebounder from last year. He missed the first 4 games with a sprained knee ligament.
Well, he is a physical mismatch most of the time when he's on the court, and right there he just muscles that Northern Iowa defense, gets to his right jump hook. Nice little post move.
Between Abu, Yurtseven, and Leonard Freeman, they have some girth up front. They get some size.
No, they do. And last night, statistically, they might not have jumped off the page on the box score, but they made a huge impact on that game. You look at the front line that Arizona throws at you, you got to come ready to play. And all 3 of those guys, they answered the call.
In a lot of ways, perhaps that travel was caused by the presence of Abu. Beverly, quick shot. That one's off as well. So he's had a couple of bricks in his first 2 three-point attempts. Ball deflected. Still 15 on the shot clock.
Still not much of a flow offensively for either team here.
4 on the shot clock now. We're down underneath 2, and a shot off, and a good move to free himself up for Juwan McLeod.
Well, just an individual play, because that's a great defensive possession until the dribble penetration breakdown.
Abu, watch a walk.
Yeah, yes it is. A little excited there. Caught that basketball. A little bit of happy feet. NC State had this position going nowhere for Northern Iowa, but Juwan McLeod gets in that paint. Nice little fundamental jump stop. He bails that Northern Iowa offense out.
Cook almost hesitated, like he didn't want to take that shot. And Beverly comes up with it, now looking for some help. You're 7 working it on the offensive glass, and he gets it to go after the air ball from LeVar Batts, who's into the game, number 3.
And now we're going to see this NC State press. Northern Iowa is turnover prone, been known to turn the basketball over, especially this season. Averaging close to 14, or actually a little above 14 turnovers a game.
McLeod doing it himself again, a little fadeaway. He's got 6.
He's done a good job of getting in the paint. You know, NC State is pressuring the basketball, and he's gone the last 2 possessions, just gone and made a play.
4 different players for UNI last night scored in double figures against SMU. A good pressure defense led to a near turnover. Batts, that's off. You're at 7, uses that size advantage, and he gets the foul on Cook. College football reminder, number 2, undefeated Miami. Their next game is the day after Thanksgiving. That's tomorrow. They take on Pitt at noon Eastern on ABC. And they, again, will always try to keep their playoff hopes alive with a victory. That is tomorrow, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Canes and Panthers. It streams live on the ESPN app. Boilermakers football, where are we on that?
We're improved.
We're improved, right?
You know, to me, I think just seeing improvement, and it's organized, and I think you can, it's a product on the field you want to go see, whereas the last couple years that maybe wasn't so much the case.
How were they when you were there?
They were okay. They struggled, but you know, it was right at the end of the Tiller era, and he did a lot of good things for Purdue University, but he had just kind of, you know, the program had slipped a little bit, brought in Danny Hope, that didn't go great, and then the Darrell Hazel era, just, you know, we just didn't have anything going. I think with Jeff Brown, there's actually hope, and that's, you know, that's the positive thing.
Yeah, he brings that. That foul on the 4 on Markel Johnson. So UNI doing a nice job penetrating, getting into that paint. We saw a couple of buckets from Juwan McLeod. There's a foul. And it's the 4th against NC State here early in this one.
So far, they've done a good job of handling this pressure. You know, they've broken the press, haven't had any live ball turnovers where NC State can get their offense going.
Beverly took about a 35-second break. He's back in the game. McLeod nearly lost it. Three ball, nothing but net there, and Juwan McLeod is having himself a good first half.
No, he is, but Clint Carlson makes that play. And as a stretch forward, he's a guy, he's very capable of putting it on the floor. Has the green light to shoot threes too, but he found his man right there.
Look at Omar Yurt-Seven doing some work down low. It's a decided size advantage that Yurt-Seven has over Clint Carlson. About 5 inches.
He's got a lot of ability. He's a guy that has had a lot of skill.
Isaiah Brown knocks down a 3. Three-point shooting is getting under the skin of Kevin Keats. Speaking of the coach, when we come back, we'll learn a lot more about this man. Leading NC State back to prominence. That's his goal.
What happened to your teeth?
I got it too. We just blocked it out and her.
And her. Did the tooth fairy come?
Yeah.
When I lost my tooth, guess how much money I got?
How much?
25 cents.
Whoa.
That's it. That's all I got. I got 25 cents when I lost.
Your biggest tooth?
My biggest tooth.
What's your favorite food?
My favorite food, Maya, probably is pizza. I don't need to have it, but it's a great food.
I like pizza too.
You do? Have you guys ever been in timeout? Let me see what you do when you're in timeout. No. 1, 2, 3.
How much did you get when you lost a tooth?
Probably about the same as him.
25 cents for Kevin Keats. Real good look into the personality of Keats there. And while he challenges this particular group to be competitive in everything, he obviously can relate to the young kids as well. Change of culture at NC State as they've decided we're going to keep pounding it into year 7 and let him use that 7-foot body. UNI has taken 4 threes. They've hit 3 of them. McLeod has been responsible for a couple. Carlson using that body, and that ball is deflected by NC State on Sam Hunt with 7 on the shot clock.
He's a guy that's facilitating for others. You know, he does a very good job of getting into the paint, using dribble penetration to find his teammates. We've seen him do it a couple times tonight.
Inside the Imperial Ballroom here at Atlantis, Villanova already has advanced to the championship game. That's tomorrow at noon. Long launch of a 3. We got ourselves a hold. That's going to be on Torin Dorn.
He needs to go get the basketball.
Yeah, instead of boxing out, he didn't turn. He just kind of held the guy.
Yeah, go get your stats up there, Torin.
NC State now with 6 fouls. Good spin move by Fife. He can't get it to go. They bang the boards, and that's going to be something to watch this game. The ability of NC State to keep UNI off the boards. NC State's been out-rebounded in 3 of their 5 games, and the plus 11 on the other side for UNI, you'd figure would be something they could take advantage of today. 3-pointer no good. Rebound and an easy one. Back up and in for Torin Dorn.
Just an effort play. I mean, he just went in there. Nobody blocked him out. And he flies in there. That's an advantage when you play the 4 and you're on the perimeter. Kind of fly in there. He finds himself an easy bucket.
McLeod left wide open for another 3. And that one's long, and it's going to go to NC State. McLeod had an open look.
Yeah, NC State just butchered the switch there. I mean, they have not been locked in like they were last night. I think if you saw the game, you know, the atmosphere was much different than now. It's just they have not had that same edge to them. They've been mentally a little out of it here to start the game.
Bernard Freeman back in 10 minutes to go, and 2 fouls for number 1. Al Freeman with the ball out top. Gets the high screen. And Dorn traveled. Pretty good defense by Northern Iowa on that particular trip down the floor.
It really was, and last night we saw they had so much success with the pick and roll with Al Freeman, kind of finding people and also getting stuff for himself. But Northern Iowa has done a very good job of locking that down. There's nothing doing there.
McLeod threw it away, and that's part of the problem for Northern Iowa, their turnovers. That's their 3rd today.
And the contrast in styles here is black and white. NC State's going to press you. Northern Iowa wants to play in the half court. And with Northern Iowa's turnover issues, something that NC State can certainly look to take advantage of.
Beverly that time a little better. That one goes in and out, but he freed himself up for an easy shot. He'll take that all day. So will NC State.
They've missed Bennett Cook a couple times there.
I would think with 2 fouls on Freeman, you'd want to try to feed him, right?
Gotta go right at him. They had him there, and Just missed him on the block.
5 on the shot clock again, and they don't want the ball out here. Good defense. That did not hit the iron. That's a shot clock violation. They ended up the ball with Carlson 30 feet away, and their 4th turnover.
Probably don't want the ball in the hands of your foreman as that shot clock ticks down. Both teams really struggling to find good offense here.
So what do you think that is? Do you think because of the energy that was used last night against Arizona that Northern Iowa used?
You got to look at it as last night was a huge win for them. And the thing is now as a player, you got to think we can build on this even more. If we win this game, we're seeing Villanova. We have a chance not just to beat a team like Arizona, but even go get another top 5 team.
Inside and in traffic. Good play by Torin Dorn to cut into that UNI lead. It's down to 3. More pressure from NC State.
Well, now we got to keep the ball in the middle there. Good job here.
Your 7 went straight up. No foul called. Omar, your 7 launches. No good. Another offensive rebound. Dorn fires. In and out. Lid on that rim right now for NC State. It's a couple that have gone down and come back out. What did you say about the rhythm?
They are out of it. That's what I'd say about it.
UNI has gone 4.5 minutes without a point. That's what you do after you're down a bunch of bird. You got to swim it off on Thanksgiving here in the Bahamas.
It's cross-conference chaos of the best kind. The Big Ten ACC Challenge starts Monday.
A lot of really good matchups. Wisconsin, Virginia, 9 Eastern Time, ESPN 2. Got a Notre Dame, Michigan State showdown as well, as that's what it looks like. We are in the Bahamas at Atlantis for the Bad Boy Mower battle for Atlantis. And a slow start for both these teams. Given all the energy that was in the building between Villanova and Tennessee, you're kind of waiting for this one to get on track. Wheels are spinning a little bit for both teams. Nearly got away with a walk. Again, the shot clock here down below 5 and a turnover. So out of a timeout, NC State unable to do anything offensively, and they commit their 5th turnover.
From an offensive perspective, they never got the ball inside the 3-point line. Now, you got to look at the rims. So far, neither team really doing a good job of that.
Pickford uses a ball fake, and he finds Cook, who is inside the lane, and he gets it to go over your 7.
Well, Pickford does find some dribble penetration there, and he gets his big man going.
Foul on the floor, so Bat's bucket will not count. That basket we saw from Cook ended what was a 5-minute scoring drought for UNI.
And for Northern Iowa to win, they need him to play well. I mean, he's a guy that's a redshirt senior, been in their program. He's got a tough matchup tonight because these NC State bigs are long and athletic. It's affected him. I mean, their length has certainly kept him from being aggressive and going to the rim.
Good take, and your 7's waiting there for the rebound, and he can't get it to go. He gets some help, but we're going to get a foul. So you had these two teams playing last night, and here they are back because they won the next day. Second game in less than 24 hours. Is that a factor? You're not used to playing 3 games or 2 games in less than 2 days.
Yeah, it's one of those deals where this is the only time of the year where you're going to play 2 or 3 games in 2 or 3 days. So it certainly is a factor. But, you know, I mean, you're playing to go to the finals. So at some point, it's got to kind of click in here where, hey, you know, we win tonight. We get to play Villanova tomorrow.
Is this misery loves company, meaning like, look, they're not great, we're not great. And eventually, if they become great, then we have to become great. Or we're going to get run out of the building.
Sure. NC State has stayed in it because they have 8 offensive rebounds. Because offensively, not much going on there.
UNI, because of those 4 tournament appearances and some of the success they've had, become very familiar with the Panthers, especially come March. It's one of those teams who are like, uh-oh, Panthers, UNI's in our bracket. Are we going to play them in a first game? That's just not fun.
Ali Berkman-ish looms large.
Exactly.
I think he, when you draw him as a big school, not someone you want to see.
Another shot taken with about 1 on the shot clock. How about running a play here?
Yeah, it's really been one of those deals where it's only been individual plays. There's not much manufactured offense out here. And again, just so much dribbling on the perimeter.
Dorn's going to be careful. He seems to almost take a walk every time he gets the ball.
He shuffles his feet.
Yeah. Bats, that's way long. In and out. You're at 7. That's the reason that they're in this thing. They just don't have anybody who can match up with Omar Yurtseven.
He's missed him at the rim, but he's been really active on this offensive glass. He's potentially been NC State's best player.
Yeah, he had 11 and 9 last night against Arizona. Bats pushes it himself, and he gets hacked in the act, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Omar Yurtseven just sheds his defender, making himself tough to block out, and he's done a great job of having energy. That's a skill. You know, that is a definite skill, Carl, because you're just playing hard, and not everybody does it. It sounds so easy, but he gave a great effort right there and was able to shed Bennett Cook. Bennett Cook might hear it from his coach, and he goes to the bench right there.
Yurtseven, because of the way he has been playing, last night against Arizona, logged a season-high 23 minutes. He's been on the floor for most of this first half as well, after coming off the bench.
He's earned his minutes, and I think
no doubt.
Kevin Keats, you know, he's got a stable of 3 bigs that he can really trust with Abu, Yurtseven, and Freeman.
Yurtseven has allowed him to keep Freeman on the bench with 2 fouls. That's a luxury. Baseline was open, and a tough shot over Yurtseven. Good offensive rebound, put back in by Taiwan Pickford.
There's your leading rebounder, shooting guard, streaking in. Just has a knack for the ball. You know, the basketball finds energy, and he's a guy that plays with a lot of energy, and he does a great job of being active on that glass.
That 3's off, and the shooting, especially outside shooting, has not been very good. That's a walk.
Well, to me, Omar Yurtseven has to get a touch there. He's got great position. And now Freeman takes a bad 3 and then shuffles his feet and travels.
NC State last night shot really well from the outside, especially Braxton Beverly. Today they are 1 for 9 from three-point land. And yet they're only down by 2. Yurtseven does a good job, and that's a heck of a basket there because Pickford now has 9. Yurtseven does not bring those arms down.
No, he is straight up. He is really good at being in that restricted area and just going straight up, making guys score over him.
He lost the ball here. Here's a run out for Brown with Abu, and he gets the foul called. And look at Kevin Keats saying, wait a minute, I didn't see any foul. We got one here, though. We're going to break at the Battle for Atlantis semifinal, with the Panthers up by 4 over the Wolfpack.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Atlantis Paradise Island, Bahamas at heart, and Lowe's. Hurry in today for huge savings on all things winter.
Back in our college basketball studios here in Bristol, Chris Cotter, Seth Greenberg, Jay Williams. Land Rover halftime report coming up. We'll have highlights of North Carolina in action right now over on ESPN. and a big comeback again for Villanova earlier in the day.
Yeah, Jalen Brunson with a huge second half, but Mikal Bridges will be the reason they may go to another Final Four.
What do you make of the first half here?
When I watch this first half, this is a Northern Iowa team that plays a lot of pack line defense. I'd be interested to see what Robbie Hummel thinks. He played against a ton of pack line in the Big Ten. You're not going to beat it off the bounce. You got to move the ball, you got to move people, and you got to screen it.
Ravi, what do you think?
No, Seth's exactly right. I mean, you've got to get some action. There's been nothing offensively where it's been manufactured offense. It's really been a tough game to watch. But Seth's right. You know, just you're not going to get in. They're so good at their help and recover defense. And we've seen, you know, they have struggled.
That tryptophan doesn't affect Seth Greenberg. I mean, he is razor sharp, in spite of burying some bird earlier today. Razor sharp. You'll get all that coming up at the half as we're at the 3:30 mark, and the 2 free throws made by Brown pushes the advantage now to 6. Robbie, while most people that watch know it, there are, given Thanksgiving holiday, some people who may not know what pack line defense is. So explain that to the audience.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it here tonight. You've seen NC State just dribble the perimeter because Northern Iowa is so good at their help and recover, and they back off you. They're not going to pressure, but you know, you're not going to penetrate their defense.
Where they've taken the advantage of is inside with Yurtseven and now Abu.
Well, he weight roomed him right there. That was a strong finish by Abdul Malik Abu.
NC State was looking for a 10-second call. They didn't get it, but that pressure continues. And you have to start your offense with about 10 on the shot clock. In and out for Carlson. Battle on that boards, won by UNI, and they'll start it over. Good pass. McLeod, the extra pass. Pickford, 3. He's got a dozen that time. Good ball movement set up by the pass from the baseline for UNI, and the Panthers are up by 7. There you go. Beverly buries his first off a 20-point effort last night.
We'll see if that shot can get him going. It doesn't take much. His reputation coming out of high school is that of a big-time shooter.
Dangerous pass went over the fingertips of Beverly. Too easy from the putback. Because of the help defense, a lot of vacated area.
Some dribble penetration to the rim, brings the big over, goes for the block shot, and it leaves Northern Iowa wide open for the rebound.
I think so. Braxton Beverly may have just woken up. He's got the last 5 points. It's a tough shot. You go back to your right hand not to have that shot blocked.
And for his size, he's a very good finisher in that paint. He showed it last night.
Picks up another rebound and the 4-point lead for UNI. See if Beverly can free himself again. Nope, won't get a chance. That 3 is good. NC State, Al Freeman gets hot here late in the first half. We'll take a 30-second timeout. Our halftime report's coming up. 59 seconds to go.
Welcome back, and Northern Iowa, trying to get a little pick and roll action here. We're going to see this big right here as we circle him. He is going to set this ball screen, and he is going to roll to the rim. Well, look at Al Freeman. Does not suck him in at all. So really right there, Northern Iowa getting nothing out of their pick and roll basketball, and the struggles continue really for both teams.
Little uptick in offensive action for North Carolina State here late. We're down to 1. And they're going to get a foul on Beverly, and this coach like, really, we need that there?
Well, they just really not had anything offensively, and you're going to put them at the line.
Right.
And that's why a lot of these coaches have gray hairs. You know, it's like, it's a mind-boggling deal sometimes.
Kevin Keats, when he was at the Hargrave Military Academy, 10 years, he won 2 national championships. in Chatham, Virginia. He and his staff have sent a bunch of guys to the NBA.
It's a high school powerhouse. I mean, they have had a great program.
That's where Braxton Beverly went. His assistant coaches, a couple of them came from the academy as well. Short on that jump shot. Rebound is loose. They're going to get a foul before that ball hit the ground, and it's going to be called on Pickford.
We're going to march 94 feet down the other end and
shoot two.
Now NC State's going to shoot 2 free throws.
Al Freeman, doing Al Freeman a favor, putting him on the line. He hasn't had a huge game yet. 6 points and slow going, but he'll be shooting a one-on-one. I'd be a little more encouraged by the Beverly performance late in the first half.
He showed some life. Yeah,
Freeman make a few buckets.
Exactly. And you know they're going to keep this pace up. They want to press Northern Iowa. Haven't really turned them over yet. Northern Iowa only with 5 turnovers. Done a pretty good job handling this pressure, but they have not done a good job of blocking these bigs out for NC State.
That was a big break. Abu could not convert on what appeared to be a fairly easy layup. So with 20 seconds to go in a tie game, UNI will inbound it.
We're going to see a little man-to-man pressure here. You mentioned it, Carl. Northern Iowa has been unable to get into their offense on a lot of possessions where they're starting offense at 15 on the shot clock because NC State is just hounding them.
Here's another one. 10 seconds to go. McLeod out top. 2 seconds. He'll launch it. No. Something appropriate about the fact this game ended in the first half, tied at 32. NC State's been terrific on the offensive boards. They've got 12 of them that have led to second chance points, 11. Got a couple of turkeys. Let's have a little stuffing. The halftime report set to start. We'll see you for the second half in just a while.
This halftime report is presented by Land Rover, above and beyond.
Welcome inside our ESPN College Basketball Studios. Our family would like to wish your family a safe and happy Thanksgiving.
The Land Rover halftime report.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thanksgiving, everybody.
This is the Bad Boy Mowers battle for Atlantis. And you get a lot of fish, you get a lot of wildlife here. You get a lot of sea turtles, stingrays, big fish, small fish. We got a couple of big fish lose like Arizona, and as a result, you see a game like this, NC State against UNI. Happy Thanksgiving again, Carl Ravitch and Robbie Hummel, the former Purdue great. So it was a bit of a unsettled first half, but we're tied 32 all. How did UNI get their points to stay in this thing?
Well, Tywan Pickford was the guy for them. I mean, he really got it done on the glass early and then made some shots late as the game went on. And really, that's what he's known for. He leads their team in rebounding as a shooting guard. But, he's really brought it on the offensive end tonight and gotten things done as Bennett Cook has really struggled. He has been the guy for them all season, and he has not been able to get going so far, Carl.
Bennett Cook, 1 of 3 from the field. He's got 3 rebounds. Pickford, 5 rebounds and 12 points. As we take a look at our first half stats, they are brought to you by Atlantis. So it's 32-32. A couple of other numbers that stand out, and I doubt that NC State's going to go 3 for 11 in the second half when it comes to 3-point field goals. That's one of them. The bench scoring was another big difference.
Yeah, and I think we saw Braxton Beverly, Al Freeman kind of wake up there at the end of the half, too. They finally got something going. Some ugly misses to start the game, but they really finished the half strong.
Yep, on a 4 or 5 run from the field. Bench scoring, NC State 17 points, and the Panthers 2. The winner gets a chance to face Villanova. Maybe they're just trying to avoid that. I don't quite understand, but Villanova's waiting in the championship game of this battle for Atlantis tomorrow at noon Eastern time. ESPN 2. Over on ESPN, those of you who are curious, Carolina got themselves a 20-point lead in their game as the PK 80 now underway as well. See if the teams can find themselves some rhythm offensively. Kick for a wide open 3 and a good start with a good shot, but the result is no points.
but it's set to get Bennett Cook the ball. And I think that was a concerted effort there. He didn't catch the ball on the block, but they got a wide open three out of it.
Cook's going to pick up the foul as the shot was followed by Al Freeman off a miss. Freeman coming off of a big game last night, not off to a great start today. He's 2 of 5 from the field for 7 points.
Last night he was the Arizona killer because man, you put him in pick and roll. He was splitting their bigs. He was getting in the paint. He was knocking down threes. Really, his ability to finish was what impressed me. I mean, he was finishing over guys that are 7 foot, 7'1", and he was, he was not afraid.
Arizona was 2 of 17 from three-point land. But if you happen to just say, I want to watch this NC State team, how they beat Arizona, you'd be left wondering, how did they beat Arizona?
Did they out-tough them? I mean, and that doesn't show up in a box score, but they were the tougher team. And I think Sean Miller would tell you the exact same thing. We did not match NC State's toughness.
Clint Carlson gives the ball up to Jawan McLeod. He got off to a good start in the first.
They missed Cook again there. And he had his hands up like, man, get me the ball.
Once again, 3 on the shot clock, 2 on the shot clock. Nice job to stay with it by Tywan Pickford. He's been their everything on offense. NC State, before that basket, had grabbed their first lead for the first time since the 2-minute mark. They continue to miss. Look out. That's going to be a foul and a hard one on Leonard Freeman, and hitting the ground hard as well was Cook. Freeman's got a huge body. He's coming out, and Omer Yurtseven is coming in. Watch 25 hit the ground after this.
Yikes. Freeman's foul trouble issues continue here in the Bahamas. Had 3 last night, 3 again today.
They built this basketball court in a ballroom, a carpeted ballroom, but the carpet doesn't soften the fall like that. Doesn't work that way. Pickford. When Yurtseven was in the game in the first half, they did a heck of a job of getting the ball to 14 down low, and he used his huge height advantage. He's a 7-footer.
With a nice touch, too.
Yeah. Trying to set himself up again, and after that turnover, we're going to see Kevin Keats go to his bench. Sam Hunt's going to come out of the game, and back into the game is Braxton Beverly. A short leash.
Yes, it is. But you can't turn the ball over. It's just one of those deals that when you want to win basketball games, turnovers aren't okay. Good basketball teams win the battle of more possessions. They rebound the ball or they don't turn it over.
They got mismatches now. Beverly switched onto Carlson, and now they switch back. Cook, good move, and doesn't get it to go, but he made a nice move inside that paint.
Well, again, that's a set play to get him the ball. They use the pick and roll with the rise and replace. Get it into Bennett Cook. To me, you've got a guard on you right now. You need to be decisive, and I think he's been a little indecisive tonight. He draws the foul, but with the man who's guarding him, when Markel Johnson switches onto you, you need to punish him. You need to use that and put him in the rim.
Brothers Jake and Adam played at UNI as well, both 1,000-point scorers. How do you think like the Thanksgiving food went down in the Cook household?
I'm guessing that
those 3 big fellas.
It was a lot of food consumed there. I would love to see the one-on-one battles they had as well.
In the driveway after we just chatted.
Yeah.
Wide open 3, and that one goes down from Markel Johnson. Offensive rebound led to it.
He had a tough night shooting the basketball last night, but he did get 8 assists. Knocks the 3 down right there.
Yurtseven's got 7 offensive rebounds. First half, NC State had more offensive rebounds than UNI did defensive rebounds, 12 to 11. Here's Cook again with that mismatch, and he nearly had his pocket picked by Markel Johnson. How does Johnson keep ending up on Cook?
He switches the ball screens, and he's done a good job right there of getting Carlson off balance. Those guards do it so well. You know, when they're used to being post up and they can use their agility to kind of steal the ball like he did right there.
That's a tough shot, contested shot. Pickford continues to light it up for UNI. He's got 16.
He's really keeping him in this game, Carl. He has done such a good job of staying aggressive, using the screen there and knocking the jumper down.
Yurtseven can hit that, and he does. Omer Yurtseven launches a 3, and the lead for NC State now to 2.
Well, what a luxury when your 7-footer can step out and knock down threes. You mentioned he has 7 offensive rebounds tonight, but really showing the range there. There's a reason that he came over so heralded. You know, he came over with a big-time reputation as a scorer, really showing the repertoire off there.
Being Cook doing battle now. Cook spins. Did he hook him? No, they'll call it on Yurtseven.
And that's a battle right now. I think that as you see this game go on, we're going to see Omer Yurtseven and Bennett Cook. Now, he's got to get going, and that's a great matchup in the post. Both those guys really battling for position.
A little crisper, a little more intense in the second half, and now we're going to get a foul before the ball's even thrown in on Torin Dorn. NC State ran into a little foul trouble in the first half, and they picked up their 3rd already here in the second half. As Abdul Malik Abu comes into the game, Dorn goes out. Carlson 0 for 4 from the floor today. Doesn't have any points in 21 minutes. He does have 3 rebounds.
He's gotten stuck with the basketball at the end of the shot clock and had to try to make a play, just like right there.
Just like that. They're going to call that on Pickford, who did a nice job to get that first rebound.
He's so active on the glass.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, he goes and gets him.
He's got the hops of the Dante DiVincenzo for Villanova.
Tywan Pickford is going to be a very good player in the Missouri Valley Conference. For a freshman, he has a lot of tools.
Now Yurtseven had that go off his hands. Tough pass, but a good pass. He was ready to catch it. Hard to catch a ball like that in traffic.
Especially when you can't see it. You know, he had a shielded view right there, and it is a good pass. He's open and he hit him in the hands. But for some of these big guys, not always the best hands on him. So he should have caught that one though.
McLeod got rid of that real quick just so Yurtseven wouldn't block it, and it freed it up for Cook to grab the offensive rebound.
When you have a shot block, you need to make sure you check out the man who the shot blocker is guarding, and they didn't do it right there.
Abu launches a 3 of his own. It was on line but short, and I don't think Kevin Keats liked that shot. He looked to his bench to see who he could bring in. He looked at Freeman and said, well, you got 3 fouls, so we can't do that. That was in rhythm for Carlson. And
it was.
Hits the back of the iron.
That's the best look he's had all night. They've had some good things with this pick and roll right here with Markel Johnson and Omer Yurtseven. I guess they keep going to it.
He'll fire another 3. It goes in. Omer Yurtseven.
When that big helps, you've got to at least stun it, Omer Yurtseven, because he's shown the ability to knock down jumpers from the perimeter. Too much time there, able to kind of gather, take his time, and just knock down that 3.
Carlson's get pushed by Abu. They're going to have to call that on 0. We'll take a timeout. It's a 3-point lead. It's the largest for NC State. 5 lead changes in the first couple of minutes of the second half.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Atlantis Paradise Island, Bahamas at heart, and Lowe's. Hurry in today for huge savings on all things winter.
Take a look at our Atlantis game track and some of the numbers here. 38-36, so now the team's shooting particularly well, but the three-point field goals heating up a little bit for NC State. Bench points a huge part of the game story, 23 for North Carolina State. And the offensive rebounds, thanks to the guy that we're seeing a lot of video of right now, Omer Yurtseven from Turkey. They got a big advantage there. Yurtseven, while he can shoot the three, he hasn't really done it. He's made 2 in his career prior to the 2 he's made today. He looks really smooth doing it.
No, he does, and it's always a great feeling as an opposing player or coach when the scouting report says, yeah, this guy's made 2 threes in his career, and he comes out and drills 2 or 3 on you.
Career high in points for Yurtseven is 16. He's got 13 tonight. He played 21 minutes last night, which was a season high. That one nearly got the ceiling here. And the tip ball goes back out to the Panthers. Loose ball on the floor. Yurtseven picks it up. NC State with a chance to grow that lead to 5 or 6.
Oh, he has it.
Yeah,
you got to throw him that ball.
Abu battling there and muscling Clint Carlson out of the way.
That's a big-time post-up. I mean, he had him in the rim.
Carlson gives up about 20 or so pounds to Abu.
You see that. He's got him buried. Yurtseven has to see that and hit him. Great post up there by Abu.
Beverly launches. That one looked pretty good on the shot, but it's off the left side of the iron.
Northern Iowa needs a good possession here. The last couple possessions have been ones that have used a lot of shot clock and not had a lot of action. I still think Bennett Cook needs to get touches. You can use him inside and get to your outside. He can find shooters from that block.
Carlson left hand way short. Yurtseven couldn't get it. Batts comes away with it.
Deep 3.
A little settling for that first shot,
yes.
huh?
I think that's just not a shot that Kevin Keith wants. You can get that at any point in the possession.
Brown, he'll launch a 3. That one's off the back iron, so both teams have gone cold here all of a sudden in the second half. Number 10, Beverly, first shot is to think shot. As he passes in another one off the iron. Got to get the ball inside. Combined, these two teams have missed their last 7 shots.
It has been a brick fest here. At least the last 2 possessions for each team, though, have been manufactured, good offense. They just haven't knocked them down.
Kevin Keats screaming at Abu, keep those hands straight up. He bent that elbow, gets the foul.
Hey, I'm Lenny Forey, Marketing Director for Bad Boy Mowers. We could not be more excited to be here and sponsoring this great event, the Bad Boy Mowers Battle for Atlantis. This is a top-notch tournament with some of the greatest coaches, greatest players in the country. We're happy to be part of it. Bad Boy Mowers started with a single mower. We're now one of the biggest mower manufacturers in the world, and it took a lot of hard work, great people, and innovation, just like it took for these teams to get here. And we wish everyone the best of luck. Play with an attitude.
We're back at Atlantis, beautiful Atlantis, Paradise Island in the Bahamas for the battle for Atlantis. And Villanova already in the championship game, waiting the winner of this one. Jay Wright's team was down by 12 at the half to Tennessee and roared back. Jalen Brunson keyed that victory. Mikal Bridges, the player of the game, along with Brunson offensively. And here a one-point game, Robbie.
If you're an NBA scout, I think Mikal Bridges is the guy. When you look at him, he can defend 4 positions. He starts making jump shots the way he has. He's a guy that, you look at those 3-and-D guys in the league, he's a guy that definitely fits that bill.
Paul Presiash.
Yeah.
That ball thrown back, and it's a turnover and a foul on Torin Dorn. Sloppy play for NC State. This just feels like literally game 2 in day 2. Like they both just seem out of kilter.
I think both teams look a little fatigued.
Yeah.
And I think NC State might be a little emotionally fatigued from last night. And Northern Iowa just looks a little tired to me. And we talked about in the break a little bit, you know, Bennett Cook just, and we've heard Ben Jacobson talk from a conditioning standpoint. When he's in shape and he, you know, is able to play a full game, he's a really good player. And he's been in the best shape of his life this season, but it's you know, you play 2 and 3 games in 2 and 3 days, and it's hard.
And it's really less. I mean, they played last night and they're back to this is the day game after a night game in baseball.
Very quick turnaround.
They got Freeman back in the game. I'd love to see Bernard Freeman get off a little bit offensively with that big body of his. He's been in foul trouble most of the game. Another three-pointer, no good, and no offensive rebound for Freeman.
But look who it was again. Pickford right there. And that was, you know, Freeman was going to have that board, and he flew in from the backside and tipped it to a teammate. He might not get credit for that rebound, but he kept NC State from getting that basketball.
That's a good point. Down low, Freeman deflects that. That's a tough pass to get.
That's a really tough pass from the top of the key.
Beverly, he'll launch it. Never a doubt. He lets it go quick, and it's not like last night when the shots were dropping for Braxton Beverly.
If you're Northern Iowa, you know, Spencer Haldeman, just 1 field goal attempt. He's been instant offense for this team. Has not been seen tonight.
Haldeman was huge off the bench last night, 15 points against SMU. Played 9 minutes tonight, and he has not done anything. 0 for 1. That's a bucket and a foul. Markel Johnson.
Yeah, Haldeman just got blown by. I mean, that's a nice little crossover, but it is hard to help on blow-bys, and Markel Johnson just gets to the rim, absorbs the contact there, and finishes.
Now, you're a big guy. Is that what they will tell you? Well, this is why we don't go. If we go straight up and they bounce off our body and get a shot off, we're not blocking it. We're not bringing our arms down, and it can result in three-point plays.
It's a tough play to officiate, and I think right there you could make the argument, dude, I'm straight up. You know, what did I do wrong?
4-point lead, largest lead for NC State. We're at the midway mark of the second half.
And you make a good point, Carl. It's just these guards are so crafty because they've learned, how do I score when I'm undersized? And they are so good at getting contact and using that contact to make it look like they get fouled. He had him.
Yeah, he did. Once again, they start their offense here with 5 on the shot clock. And Haldeman has his pocket picked. Johnson in the corner. Freeman, Beverly, wide open. Splat! Stepped into that one, and now the lead grows to 7. Starter with the defensive turnover. Markel Johnson, 1 extra pass to Beverly. And we got a timeout with 9:35 to go.
NC State getting out in transition, forcing some turnovers, and we see here Al Freeman running the floor, not settling for a tough transition 3, gets in the paint, and look who is trailing in. Braxton Beverly knocks down the 3, finding that stroke that we hadn't seen since last night.
No, we haven't. Beverly always seems to think he sees it, though. There's not a shot that Braxton's not going to take.
And you know what? That's what good players do.
Yeah.
You know, they have a short memory. And while today has not been his best day, I do not want to see him trailing in for an open 3 if I'm Ben Jacobson.
Yeah. 8 points on 3 of 9 shooting for Braxton Beverly, who again last night torched Arizona for 20. As they knocked off the number 2 seed in the country. That's a travel and not a good offensive possession for Ben Jacobson's Panthers.
And we saw Markel Johnson point to the bench right there. That was a scouted defensive play almost for them. They saw that Northern Iowa was trying to get him in that pick and pop action, and he just kind of stunts, throws Cook off, and forces the turnover.
4 turnovers in the second half, 9 in the game for UNI. Dangerous spot here, down 7. Tough shot. Surprised how quick Al took that shot. You got a 7-point lead. You can milk a little clock, get a better shot. Tepalo, you haven't seen that offensive effort to get it into your 7 anymore. Well, they had the trap in the corner there with your 7. And Markel Johnson instead, a layup miss. Look who's there. Pickford battling, fighting with Yurt 7. And the ball still stays loose on the ground. Look out. Wow, an effort there by both Beverly and Cook. Cook went after that like a loose ball in a football field.
Yes, he did.
He almost wiped Beverly out with his knee, which thankfully didn't happen.
Well, again, Taiwan Pickford just so active on the glass. And when that basketball is loose, you got to be the aggressive player. Bennett Cook diving in there. Wow.
Fumble.
I think if you're Northern Iowa, maybe a little concerning that two little guys, two guards fighting out at the rim. Your bigs have got to be active down there as well.
Wide open shot. Here's Yurt 7 underneath. He has it. Uses that body. There'll be no call. He missed it, and then he's going to get called for going over the back of you-know-who.
Man, Taiwan Pickford. He might be one of the most active guards I've ever seen on the glass. He goes and gets rebounds.
And now, as a result of his hard work, he's going to be able to shoot free throws. I think Yurt 7 was so stunned after he was used in his body, he turned around, nobody was
wide
on
open,
him.
yeah. Well, if you look at the box score and you see a guard leading a team in rebounding, it's maybe concerning, and you mentioned that, but
he's maybe a little different.
It's a different situation. I'm really impressed. He's a rare breed right there.
6'4" tall, and for the Panthers, they score their first point in over 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
I think they've gotten in trouble tonight when they have over-dribbled, and they've had some issues on the perimeter. We haven't seen them get much from their offense. It hasn't been one of those deals where they've manufactured a lot of shots.
Tough take. That was good, really good defense there that time by Juwan McLeod, forcing a tough shot from Markel Johnson, who's missed a couple here in the last minute.
A lot of dribbling right there.
Carlson got two guys up in the air, and then it's McLeod for three. Got the roll.
Well, the soft rims and the dribble penetration does pay off there. Carlson able to find his shooter, McLeod. Just like that, it's a 2-point lead for NC State.
The handoff, if you will. That ball deflected out of bounds. I thought we were going to get a timeout from Torn Dern. He had the ball on the ground. He didn't call it. They end up with the ball. We'll take a timeout. Under 8. 2-point game.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Bad Boy Mowers. Classic American muscle, mow with an attitude. And Atlantis Paradise Island, Bahamas at heart.
We're doubling down. We're in the Bahamas. Want to remind everybody about what's going on in Portland, Oregon. First, let's scan the country. The Northeast, you got the Yukon Huskies, ACC country. You got Oklahoma and Arkansas coming, Texas, Florida. We got almost every state covered for the PK80, a conglomeration of schools from the Pacific Northwest, including Gonzaga. They're in there as well. North Carolina puts 102 on the board. They get a victory, so Carolina already a winner over Portland. 102-78 the final score. They'll get the winner of the game that follows us here on ESPN2, Arkansas and Oklahoma. I know there's Arkansas folks who are really looking forward to beating Oklahoma and then perhaps taking on Carolina, get a little revenge from last year's NCAA tournament game. 4 guys in double figures for starters for Carolina. Luke May had 20. Theo Pinson had 11, Williams had 17, and Joel Berry had 18 points, also in double figures, with 12 off the bench for Carolina in that game at the PK80. It was Andrew Platek. So Carolina gets a win. Back here in the Bahamas, NC State up 49-47. Robbie Hummel, Carl Ravitch going to the line to shoot a couple of free throws. Al Freeman, and now instead it's an inbounds pass. He was lining up like he was going to shoot free throws.
They're making an effort to get this ball to your 7.
It's a smart play, isn't it? The 7-footer fading away.
Yeah, I mean, he just has had a great afternoon. But you look at his skill set, and right there just backing down Bennett Cook, who cannot match his length. And I think if I was going to pick a player of the game so far, he would be my guy.
Look out, alley-oop, and that ball deflected away. Advertised a little bit. And Al Freeman picked it off. Takes it into no man's land. Not a good play by Al Freeman. And that's a terrible foul. That leads to a potential 3-point play.
Well, a fundamental blunder on one end leads to a layup on another. And if you're Al Freeman, you can't leave your feet and make that pass. But if you're going to foul him as Sam Hunt, you gotta foul him. You know, he just kind of gives him a love tap, and Isaiah Brown, I don't know if he even felt that.
That's a strange turnaround. You had a breakout. Al Freeman threw it right away.
Well, the thing is, you've been going to your 7. Why not go back to him? He just, you know, he's scoring at will down there in the post. NC State's found itself a little bit in a hurry almost tonight. I mean, whenever they've gotten things going, it's like we're in a really big hurry to score the basketball again. Take your time.
Hunt, he didn't get your memo, but your 7 is there for another board. Beverly launches. That's long. They pick up another offensive rebound and will reset. Your 7's been the guy. He's got 15 points. He's played 25 minutes, which is now a new high for him. But it feels like NC State is keeping UNI in the game as opposed to ending the game.
They should go right at Bennett Cook right now, because he has not shown that he can guard Omer Yurtseven. That's going to be a foul every time. I mean, that's not an intelligent play.
A couple of questionable defensive plays by NC State here at 5:35. SportsCenter 10:30 Eastern follows Ole Miss and Mississippi State, the football game. We'll ask who's got the advantage in the Iron Bowl. Is Alabama ready to get crunched? The FAU turnaround, all access with Lane Kiffin, and the playoff drama in Dallas. The Chargers and the Cowboys, one of 3 NFL games. Kenny Mayne, Max Bretos, ESPN, and streaming live on the ESPN app on this Thanksgiving holiday 2017. Yurtseven out, Dorn out, back into the game. Leonard Freeman, who just hasn't been able to get on track today, and Abdul Malik Abu. Free throw good. How about it? 5:35 to go, and UNI back on top. Winner will play Villanova in the championship game tomorrow at noon Eastern. Freeman tries to use that big body, and he does, to get that one up and in.
And with NC State's size trying to impose their will, honestly, they should go to these guys every time. I don't know why you're not getting a post touch. Their guards have been a little out of control at times. It's one of those deals where you got to get them some touches.
Cook driving against Freeman, lays it up and lays it in. That's a good offensive move from Bennett Cook. So you played for a lot of years at the collegiate level, the NBA level, internationally. When you sit here and you see that, and you have a coaching staff that knows your team so well, how come you cannot get your team to buy into that idea of Yurtseven or Freeman or Abu have to touch the ball?
Well, sometimes I think guards can get a little, you know, they can lose their mind sometimes, and they want to score the basketball. And NC State has guards that are scorers. So I think sometimes, you know, these big guys, they can't bring the ball up. They've got to be passed to.
Right.
And I think sometimes they get kind of forgotten. And that's been the case today for NC State. Even though when they go inside, they've scored.
Good things happen.
It's been hard for them to almost throw the ball in there. And it's not because Northern Iowa was taking it away. NC State is just kind of, you know, not taking advantage of it. It's tough being a big guy. You gotta depend on these little guys to throw the ball.
Markel Johnson got a pick out top, buries a 3.
Well, Northern Iowa just went under, and I think that's a shot that they're okay with him taking. But Johnson just steps right into it and knocks down a huge three-pointer.
Cook, too easy. Good pass, too, to get him open. Cook's got the last 4 now for UNI.
Yeah, and a nice little pick and roll action. The backside just completely fell asleep.
The scoreboard is wrong on the screen. It's 56-56. And now it's been updated. 4 minutes to go at the Bad Boy Mower battle for Atlantis. McLeod drew the contact, no call though, and Abu did a good job that time. And it's Beverly with the ball under 350.
NC State's got to get something going inside. Good things happen when they have gotten the ball on the block.
Here's your drive, contact, and a foul.
Well, Freeman did not settle that time. Nice little dribble penetration action by the man who got it done last night against Arizona. NC State trying to get it done late.
Hi, Chris, look forward to that. We got 3:30 left, and we have not had a work of art as far as the game goes, but a close one now, 58-56 with 3 minutes and 35 seconds to play. You've had 10 lead changes in the second half, 4 ties. Yurtseven's been a stud, 15 points, 12 rebounds, 9 of those offensive for NC State. And that free throw is missed, so no three-point play for Al Freeman. What's going to decide this game?
You know, I think this team's playing to their strengths. I think if you're Northern Iowa, Bennett Cook needs to get a touch every time. And when they've gotten him the ball here, he has been effective, whether it's for himself or others. NC State, it's what we talked about, getting post touches and getting in that paint.
6 on the shot clock. Good defense and no shot at all taken.
But again, you know, you have Cook on the block, just unable to get in the basketball. If you're NC State, you don't want to settle for any jump shots. That is not. If you can get an open 3 out of your offense, that's fine. But you want to get a paint touch before you get one up.
Kevin Keats over there orchestrating, calling the play for his offense. As we get 6 on the shot clock now. They get it to Freeman, and that play was very slow in developing. Lob to Cook, deflected by Freeman. So sloppy play here in the last 3 minutes when you really need to take care of the ball.
No doubt, and I think we saw it with that last touch of NC State, leaving your feet, having nowhere to go, and just an errant pass there. NC State's bigs doing a good job of getting back in transition. That's a good timeout, because I think you got to draw something up to get a good shot.
Kevin Keats in his first year got hired in March of 2017. UNC Wilmington had a stellar career, went 72-28, won 3 straight Colonial Athletic Association titles. He was an assistant at Louisville as well, 2011 through 14. Of course, they won the NCAA title in 2013. So maybe the play he draws up will be to try to get it low to either Freeman or Abu or Cook, who's ever in the game on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, I think when they've gotten him the basketball, good things have happened for this Northern Iowa team, and he's been more assertive. You know, he has definitely imposed his will. I think he's posted stronger, but he's a guy, he needs to demand the basketball. I mean, they have not done a good job of throwing him the ball. On the other end, you know, he needs to demand the basketball as well, because I think they have kind of ignored him at times. When NC State could have gone inside, they have a favorable matchup, and he just hasn't been able to get the ball on the block. So both teams, I think here, if you're Kevin Keats or Ben Jacobson, you got to draw something up to get a paint touch, and if that leads to something outside, that's fine. But it can't be a one-on-one play where it's just a jack.
Pickford has had an unbelievable day as far as his numbers. He has 18 points and 17 rebounds.
Yes, he has.
He's a guard.
I'm impressed. I mean, that for a shooting guard, a guy that's 6'4", and he's not one of those 6'4" guys that looks like he, you know, lives in the weight room either. He's not a football body. He's lean, but he is active.
See what they draw up coming out of that timeout. with 5 on the shot clock. It's year 7. He's made a couple of threes. Instead, he gives it to Markel Johnson, who's now in real trouble, and that's a shot clock violation. Amazing that they had a timeout, drew up what you assume is a play, and ended up with nothing.
I'm not sure that they were aware of the shot clock there. It didn't seem like that action was in, any hurry to get a shot. And you could tell Markel Johnson there, he was not aware of the shot clock.
Well, that's on the staff, isn't it, to remind everybody?
No doubt. I mean, that's got to be discussed in the huddle. Sometimes at the end of these games, guys get a little fatigued, and coaches do say things in the huddle, and guys just don't hear or don't listen.
Ball off the window, and there's Cook for the offensive rebound to tie it up at 58.
We've seen that a couple times where that shot block comes over. No one helps his man out, and Cook is alone at the rim.
Cook's got the last 8 for UNI. Abu and that big body muscles his way in.
I think he traveled.
No, he took steps before that bucket.
Kind of lost the basketball and shuffled his feet there. Kevin Keats and his NC State team doesn't like the call, but I think it was the right one.
So he scored the last 8. You're trying to get it to Cook again?
No question. I think he's got to be your guy. But he's done a good job of finding the ball when it hasn't been thrown to him.
The drive and a bucket. Good drive that time, and we haven't seen a lot of Juwan McLeod as far as the offense goes here in the second half. But UNI on top by 2. Under a minute to go. Al Freeman, fadeaway, no good. They box out, but they forget about Abu. He's got another chance. That one misses as well, and Pickford with his 18th rebound.
Pretty good possession there, though, for NC State. You get a wide-open 3. Kevin Keats will live with that.
About a 9-second difference between shot and game. Cook has it, and we are at the 10-second mark with the shot clock. Carlson to the hole. He gets it to go, and a huge play by Carlson to give him a 4-point lead with 10 seconds to play. Freeman driving, reverse, no good. You're at 7, yes, and a timeout with 4 seconds to go.
Wow.
What a play by Clint Carlson.
We talked about it earlier. He can put the ball on the floor, but at the biggest moment in the game, he gets to the rim and finishes right over the top of NC State's bigs.
First 2 points that he scored all day.
He's a guy that coming into this season, Ben Jacobson has urged him to be more aggressive. He just whipped his man. Just takes Abu right off that dribble. And look at the finish. Tough left hand.
If thinking about free throws, they are 5 of 18 from the free throw line, or UNI today. Carlson is 0 for 4. Pickford 2 for 6. Cook hasn't taken a free throw yet. Gonna get the ball inbounds. They'll call it before the 5 seconds. That was their last timeout. So given those free throw numbers, is there a person you want the ball to be in the hands of?
I mean, I think you want to have it in your best ball handler's hands first. You can't turn the basketball over, but you also want to put guys on the floor that shoot it well from the free throw line. So, I mean, McLeod is 66, Pickford is 60. There's some options. No, they're not great out there. Carlson is 50%. Cook is probably your best option, but do you want to throw in the basketball right now with 4.3 seconds in the backcourt? Now, at this point, you just got to get the ball in bounds. Obviously, there's no worry about a 10-second count. There's not enough time for that. You got to make sure you take care of the basketball first and foremost. It cannot be a turnover. We have to just get the ball in bounds, is what you're saying if you're Northern Iowa.
NC State 5-0 on the season. And the winner gets Villanova in the championship.
And I think an interesting kind of situation here for Coach Keats, because coming into this tournament, you know, if you told him you can beat Arizona on night one, you're taking it. But after that win, expectations certainly rise. And I think with the way they've played tonight, this has not been Northern Iowa's best game. So it would be disappointing, I think, for this NC State team to not build on it and at least have a chance to play Nova tomorrow.
I misspoke. Cook has been to the free throw line 6 times. He's made all 6 of his free throws today. Villanova awaits the winner, noon Eastern, ESPN 2 tomorrow. Can they get the ball inbounds? They can, and they're quickly going to go over and foul Isaiah Brown. Isaiah Brown has taken 5 free throws today. He's made 3 of them. But a second came off the game clock, so 3.1 to go. Makes them both, and the game will be over.
NC State does have a timeout, so they can draw the play.
Gets the friendly roll.
And Isaiah Brown, he can make it not matter. They're going to draw something up right now, though.
Well, down the stretch, and you never just circle one play, but that Abu travel, which appeared to be a travel.
Yeah.
But he made the bucket, and Kevin Keats was looking for a 3-point play. Ended up being in a turnover. UNI grabbed the lead, and they haven't given it back up. Right now, we're staring at the UNI Villanova. Who would have thought UNI?
Yeah, and I mean, if you're a UNI fan, you have to be thrilled. I mean, they have not played their best basketball today, but they've stayed with it. They've grinded one out here, and that's what good teams do. That's what tough teams do. I think if you're looking forward for them in the Missouri Valley Conference, they've got a team that can challenge anybody in that league and definitely get to the NCAA tournament.
Now, if Brown makes the free throw, this game will be over with 3 seconds to go on a 4-point lead. No timeout, so if he misses, and he doesn't, and that'll do it for them with 3 seconds to go. The Panthers of UNI come in here and advance to the final against Villanova. Take a look at our player of the game, brought to you by Bad Boy Mowers. And how about a double-double with 18 and 18?
That is a grown man stat line right there.
Taiwan Pickford, congratulations. We'll see you at noon Eastern time tomorrow, ESPN 2. The Battle for Atlantis championship game. Villanova and the Panthers of UNI. For Robbie Hummel, our entire ESPN crew, thanks very much for watching here on Thanksgiving. We'll send you to Portland now, Arkansas, Oklahoma, the PK80 tournament with Bill Walton and Roxy Bernstein.